So at some point today, the JSE All Share Index was trading at around 74,184 points, not far from an all-time high of 74,084 points. Investors continue to digest the prospects of higher interest rates in 2022, while domestically the focus remains on a massive increase in electricity prices proposed by power utility Eskom and manufacturing data from Stats SA. Michael Treherne is portfolio manager at Vestact, and he joins us now to talk through the latest moves on the markets. Michael, always a pleasure. Let's start with a sense of how the local all-share index is performing thus far today. At last check, the local stocks were trading close to record highs.
Yeah, afternoon, Dudu. JSE All Shares up 0.7%, being led higher by commodity prices and the miners locally, particularly the precious metal miners, thanks to good gold price and a good rhodium price over the last few days. JSE All Shares around 1% away from all-time highs, which is always good to see. A high market means all of us who've got pensions and money in the stock market are richer. So long may these all-time highs last.
Stats SA this week is due to release manufacturing, production and sales data for November 2021. Your expectation?
The expectation from the market is a drop, unfortunately, of 1.4%. It's expected that that's an improvement on what we would have seen from October. In October, it was down 8.9%. This is in line with, unfortunately, the weak GDP numbers that we've seen coming through, and Omicron variant has been rather disruptive to the South African business sector.
Fishing Group Sea Harvest has signed a $788 million deal to acquire the seafood interests of Australian group MG Callis. Talk us through that acquisition.
So Sea Harvest, I think it was back in 2019, announced that they were expanding and diversifying, and that included moving into slightly different industries. So they purchased a cheese manufacturer back in 2020 or 2019. They've also then pushed heavily into Australia, where they currently have 10% of their business is in Australia. This acquisition will add a further 20%. And the rationale is they want to be more diversified, which reduces the risk for shareholders. And they're also quite positive on the growth prospects coming out of there. So management expect this to close in about April this year is when they expect the deal to close.
Let's take a look at TongaHewlett. So they're seeking a total of 450 million rand in civil claims from 4 former board members and executives, and they flagged trial delays. Talk us through those latest developments.
Yeah, so these are prosecution or civil cases that they filed last year, where they expected to go to court this year. But as we've seen with politicians, it's quite easy to delay these court dates through trivial technicalities, and that seems to be the case here with these directors. TongaHewlett now say that they only expect to go to court in 2023. They do note that they hope that the MPA files criminal charges as well, and that's hopefully expected to come through this year. As someone who's actively involved in the stock market, I hope that we do see criminal charges against these directors for their role in the value destruction.
Michael Treherne is portfolio manager at Vestact. Thank you very much for talking us through that.